Hey, Bougie Gang, how are you? What's going on? It's Wednesday. What's good, guys? Hope you guys are having a good day so far. It's raining where I'm at, so you guys know, like, it's like cool outside for me, but it's all right. It's another day. Yes, I see you, Slow Bunny. Listen to me, 301 S Tempo. India, what's going on? What's going on? What's good, everybody? Good morning. Good morning. Hey, everybody. Portia said, "What's up, Bougie Gang? What's good? How is everybody doing?" Make sure to tap in on the like for me. Likes do matter. It does. Okay. They do. And it does. Okay. If you guys did not catch yesterday, I was live on OSIP. Do I have the? Hold on. Is that it? Yeah, that's not it. I shared it on my community tab. Poor Blue Ivy, girl. Bad when you're sharing. It's embarrassing. Let's see, girl. Green chat. Let's get with Operation Green Chat. Girl, Operation Green Chat is going and flowing. Okay. Yo, thank you for the new members. You guys came through in the midnight hour. Okay. Someone came through this morning. Someone came through on the midnight hour. Hey, Miss Nikki. Hey, Boo. Hey. Okay. She's an introvert. Okay. Good morning. Okay. Sweet Aces Silhouette. Today is my birthday. Have a beautiful day. Oh, happy birthday, sis. Thank you for supporting and happy birthday. It's Sagittarius season if you did not know. If you didn't know, ask somebody in the chat. It is Sagittarius season and y'all keep it very cute and quiet. We know it's the season, okay? That's the reason for the season. It's Sagittarius, guys. You guys which wish a Sagittarius you know and love happy birthday. Okay. Happy birthday to all of our friends in the chat, specifically to our good sis who has been supporting your girl. Okay. All of y'all support in your own way. Okay. And I appreciate every bit of it. Okay. Guys, let's gosh, there's so much to talk about. I didn't even know I didn't know where to begin. I almost feel like you guys want a video, but I'm not sure. Now, I got some legal mail yesterday. Let me check my mail again. I got legal mail yesterday, physical and digital. Now, the problem with the digital mail, ooh, okay, girl, it's that digital mail. Girl, Kissimmee Police Department just sent me a alert. An arrest has been made in connection with a homicide that occurred November 28th, 2024 on Emory Street, approximately 8:17. Officers responded to a 911 call. I just literally, well, let me, girl, arrestan suspiciado de homicidio. Through diligent work, detectives identified Romero Flores Perez as the suspect. Girl, okay, Kissimmee. I love these municipalities that send you like urgent, like this just in. Okay. We'll talk about it. I need to do some research, but yeah. Look at Kissimmee Police Department doing that thing. All right, hold on a second. Let me see if they resent it to me. I did get some Cobb County mail in the mail and digital. What I got was something that had already been replaced. Something that I'd ordered was lost in the mail, girl, from November 4th. Okay, and it finally came yesterday. I'm like, what in the misrouting? And then I look at the envelope and I mean, it is what it is. I knew something was wrong. They put the wrong zip code, but girl, zip codes are important. Zip codes matter because that can mean not getting something. Anyway, that's that on that. I think I told you guys that I was trying to get the police report for what happened at the jail with Shannon Stillwell. And I got a note back yesterday And they said, unfortunately, we're not able to provide this information to non-parties on this case. But we do have the indictment. But as far as like what happened at the jail, they rejected it. You guys tell me why. I don't know. And that is the methamphetamines. Thank you, Boo. Thank you for 9 months. I appreciate it so much. That's the methamphetamines, the 173 bag. We got the indictment. So, you know what I'm saying? We might not have the full narrative, but I think, which I probably need to look at the police narratives to those contract guards. I might need to just like get what I already have, because there were a series of female guards who were up with the shits with some people, is one of which was Marquavius Huey. And we got that police report. We got those reports because those reports had, so you know what? I wonder if there are other, you know how to get, look, let me be quiet. Okay, let me be quiet because my wheels are already spinning on how it might be whoever was involved, whoever, if there was a guard that was associated and arrested in connection with, is probably the way to get the report, because I didn't know when when those girls, those 5 women were all arrested. We didn't know Marquavius Huey was one of those guys. I don't even know if they mentioned it on the news, but when we read that police report about the phones and all of the things, that's when, okay, I see what I got to do now. So they are probably, okay. I'm working on it. We're still working on that, getting the information. Thank you for dropping your member milestones, guys. You guys are amazing. Green chat, green chat, green chat. Green chat helps your girl. Okay. Okay, guys, can we talk about a scammer real quick? There was a lady who just got sentenced to 20 years in a Florida jail for running a Ponzi scheme. And it's literally a federal case, but the news story was so funny to me. Not funny like, girl, it was funny because I don't know if she, look, I'm just going to say it. I don't know if she seduced the man or what, but Sir seemed salty, and Sir seemed like he had a little bit of extra coin to throw around, and he's salty. And ma'am just got sentenced to 20 years when he said it wasn't even that he lost money, like he is destitute now. She took his life savings, none of that. He said he was going to use that money to protect wildlife. I was like, sir, were you trying to get some putty cat from this lady? Okay, this lady right here. Did you guys hear about this? Florida woman sentenced to 20 years for leading nearly a $200 million Ponzi scheme.
A South Florida woman was sentenced to 20 years in prison for leading a nearly $200 million Ponzi scheme that defrauded several investors.
Nico Clemens is live in Miami tonight. And Nico, you spoke with one of those victims.
Not Nico Clemens.
And he was in court today when the judge sentenced the woman, you two. Look, he said he's moved on, but make no mistake, he says he was angry because this was his money, thousands of dollars. And he's accepted that he won't get most of it back.
Everything was good until it was ugly.
He trusted her.
And I was blindsided, and I was devastated. I was
female Nesco.
Crying. I was sad. I realized, what am I going to do?
He was
More
crying.
Than 3 years later, Stephen Schulman watched the judge sentence Johanna Garcia to 20 years in prison. Garcia, the former CEO of MJ Capital Funding, LLC, pled guilty for her role in a nearly $200 million Ponzi scheme that defrauded several investors. A Ponzi scheme often starts when a person offers to invest your money and you, the investor, are promised a consistent high return. Schulman.
Wait a second. What happens? They promise to invest your money, and then they promise you a consistent high return. And then what happens? Do they maybe they start ghosting you? I forget. Doesn't it sound like someone on the YouTube streets, people have complained about that? Actually, one of CG, Jennifer Williams and CG's victims came to the comments, y'all. She's in the comments. And we're gonna read those, okay? Also, you guys have to remind me, we're gonna have to talk ladies and luggage. There's another scammer out here like ladies and luggage. I don't know if you saw it on the Shade Room, but baby, these travel agent scams are a mess. If I were you, girl, the golds, okay? Baby, if you're booking something, I hate any of you private travel agents out here that are reputable. I'm not talking about you. I'm just saying, be careful, y'all, with your coins. You work too hard, or somebody has worked hard for them coins. Do not, girl, just call Delta. Just call American Airlines. Just call the girl. That's it. Get your points. Get your American card. Get your good American Airlines card. Call their travel. Call their vacations, the resorts. And they will hook you up with everything you need. American Airlines, Delta Vacations. We belong to Marriott Vacations. They will book you on your whole excursion. Okay. Your excursions, your hotel, your rental car. They do everything. AAA. I've been in AAA. I've never used AAA for vacations, but we have a AAA actual hub here in Charlotte, where they have the vacations employees. So, you know, I mean, AAA is a great organization. They do a lot. DIY travel, you know what I mean? Like, just, girl, it's unfortunate, but there are people out here who are doing the most. I think it might be Travel Divas. I'll pull it up. Let's, I mean, we got time. I think we're going to be a little all over the place today. When I come back for another live later, we'll do a Nesto Sonia video, but I think we need to get caught up on some hot topics. Are you guys cool with that? Hit the thumbs up for me if you guys are cool with that. If you're new here, welcome. If you are coming here for a Nesto catch up, Nesto video, and Nesto Kiki, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. I got you. It's just, we're going to get on some hot topics right now. Okay. Okay. And I saw our good sis covered the Big Jeff video last night. If you guys still want me to talk about that, let me know. If you are a member, if we are on some Operation Green chat and you get a membership, go ahead and hit the member only videos. There's over 100 for you to peruse. Okay. There's about 100 in there. That might be a combination of lives and videos. Go ahead, get in there and use your member perks. Okay. And one of them is exclusive videos. We talked about that a few days ago. And yeah, it was interesting. The overall, I'm not even going to get into that live. We talked about it the other day. We'll get into it. If you guys want me to react to it, let me know. We might talk about it a little bit this afternoon, but we're not getting all the way into it because, like I said, we already covered it. And I know I was listening last night while I was doing some stuff in the kitchen, and it was very well covered last night by our girl Nyla. Okay. Yes, it was covered. So go if you are curious, because a couple of people have hit me up asking. And if you did not see it last night, go over to Nyla's channel and check it out. Sis covered it last night. And like I said, we covered it in members too. Okay. All right, guys. Anyway, let's get back into this. This guy got beat out of a good portion of money, and ma'am just got sentenced to 20 years. I just thought this was interesting because there's not a lot of appetite out here for people to get played with on their money. And this guy, it's also some elder abuse. This guy is of a certain age, and that can also be considered elder abuse, beating someone for their money. Okay, because someone for their money, that's not funny.
Investors.
I researched her, and she came on to me with her story and her background. She was called Mother
She came on to me.
Prosecutors say the scheme lasted from October 2020 through August 2021. They say the company didn't earn the profits it needed to pay investors back, so Garcia used the money raised to pay off previous investors while stealing millions of dollars for her own personal benefit.
The money
That's
that
how
I
Ponzi
lost
schemes work.
was going to pay to save the lives of animals in distress.
Shulman is the CEO and founder of Animal Care
Happy
Now, a
hump day,
nonprofit
boo-boo.
that provides emergency funding for animals in distress. He says he trusted Garcia with $50,000.
My insurance business faltered. There was no COVID killed it. And my real estate business killed it. And so, this came along at an opportune time.
Shulman knows he can't go back in time, but he's satisfied knowing there's some justice.
I wasn't going to get any money back. I lost everything. But, at least she won't be able to harm anybody. And her nefarious ways of doing things is over.
So you thought it was a good idea to invest in someone who has a storefront called MJ Tax Services for some investments?
Says
You thought MJ Tax Services was better than Fidelity or the Hartford or, I don't know, Bank of America Wealth Management or I don't know, Wells Fargo. You thought going to MJ Tax Services was a good idea? You guys are running over to the tax services office for investment advice? I'm sorry. And you said you were going to Vanguard, okay? You thought that it was a good idea. Lambo. Girl, let me tell you. Portia literally missed her opportunity to be like a bomb sniffing dog. Whenever I bring a package in, she's like she's got to check the packages. It's crazy. It's like giving Sonya. Okay. She's like, it's a mess. Anyway. Okay. So let's finish this up real quick because I had to go to the documents.
$50,000 he invested. He only got back about 12,000 of it.
I mean, I'll take the 12. Okay.
Miami, Nico Clemens, NBC 6 News.
Okay, Nico. Okay, let's go over here. All right, guys. This is over on the United States Attorney's Office, Southern District of Florida. Can y'all see? Let me make sure I'm operating on one screen right now. Okay. Leader of $200 million Ponzi scheme sentenced to 20 years in prison. Miami, Johanna Michely Garcia, the former chief executive officer of MJ Capital Funding. Well, on the streets, it said MJ Tax Services, okay, was sentenced to 240 months in prison today. Okay, let me make this bigger. Girl, baby, I know she is mad. On July 16th, Garcia, 41, from Broward County, Florida, pled guilty to conspiracy to commit mail and wire fraud. The conspiracy involved Garcia leading others, including Pavel Ramon Ruiz Hernandez, in an investment Ponzi fraud scheme totaling approximately 190 million. $700,000. According to court records, Garcia's MJ Capital Funding was purportedly engaging in providing merchant cash advances. Oh, merchant cash advances, or MCAs, a type of short-term financing typically used by small businesses. Beginning in October 2020 and continuing through August of 2021, Garcia conspired with others to fraudulently solicit money from investors to fund MJ Capital Funding's MCAs. Garcia and her co-conspirators recruited other people to solicit investors for MJ Capital Funding investments, offering and paid those recruiters commission. Court records state that Garcia and her co-conspirators directly and inadvertently made false statements and fraudulently representation to investors concerning the nature of MJ Capital's funding investments and use of the investor funds. Garcia and others falsely told investors that their money would be used to fund MCAs and that investors' returns would be paid from the profits of MJ Capital Funding MCA business. However, the company made few loans, failed to earn anywhere near the profits it needed to pay the investors the promised returns. As a result, Garcia paid investors by running a large Ponzi fraud scheme, paying existing investors using new investors' funds while misappropriating millions of dollars for her personal benefit. Of the nearly 200 million raised, investors lost nearly 90 million dollars. According to court records, after the FBI and Securities Exchange Commission, girl, the FBI and Securities and Exchange Commission effectively shut down MJ Capital Funding in the fall of 2021, Garcia, Ruiz Hernandez, and others began operating a new Ponzi scheme that was comparable to MJ Capital Funding criminal enterprise. Sounds like a RICO. Garcia led this new scheme from its inception until her arrest and after, while in Bureau of Prisons custody. Damn, she was in the jail running it from behind the girl La Reina del Sur. Okay, the the wait. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, the entities utilized by Garcia and her co-conspirators for the new fraud scheme included New Beginning Global Funding, New Beginning Capital Funding, Lionheart Capital Group, GMR Remodeling, and Group Management LLC. Similar to MJ Capital Funding fraud, Garcia and her partners told victims that their money would be used to fund commercial loans. In truth, the money raised was being used to pay off previous investors and fund Garcia and her co-conspirators' lifestyles. Ruiz Hernandez was charged August 2022, pled guilty that's how they get you. She just got sentenced. Ruiz Garcia, co-defendant, was charged in August 22, pled guilty in April 23, and was sentenced in September 23 to 110 months of imprisonment, followed by 3 years of supervised release. So he probably gave the tea. He probably told the whole operation, and that's why he got 110 months and she got 240. U.S. Attorney Markenzie Lapointe from the Southern District of Florida, Special Agent in Charge Jeffrey B. Veltri, FBI Miami, Russell C. Weigel, Commissioner, Florida Office of Financial Regulation, made the announcement. FBI Miami and OFR investigated the case. SEC's Miami Regional Office and Florida's Office of Financial Regulation provided the invaluable assistance. Assistant U.S. Attorney Roger Cruz prosecuted the case. Assistant U.S. Attorney Marks Calderon is handling asset forfeiture. Related court documents and information may be found on the website of the district court for the Southern District. If you guys want to hear or see more about this, let me know and I can pull up some docs. I'll just leave this right here for right now, just to kind of let me see what you guys are saying. But it's interesting because I think what we've been seeing in 2024, I haven't seen anybody getting off. If you've been getting off, you've had a major technicality that would get you off. But as far as people who they got receipts on you, you going to jail. You going to jail. Unless there are some major technicalities in the midst and they really cannot convict based on reasonable doubt or lack of receipts. I know they're not going to say lack of evidence, reasonable doubt, things like that. You going to jail. You are going to jail. Okay. A mess. Okay, so let's talk about this real quick. I know y'all saw this. I don't know. I don't have this pulled up. Yeah, let me see. All right, hold on a second, y'all. All right, let me. I need to check my legal mail and see if I got an email. If I did, then I can talk to you guys about it. Anyway, I guess what I was saying before, I think I went off track. Legal mail. So I got some digital legal mail yesterday and it was corrupt. When I went to open the file, it kept coming up corrupt. So I had to email and have them see if they will flip it back to me. So I'm waiting on that. So that was a problem. So now I heard this come up yesterday and I wanted to talk about this a little bit. A couple of things. So let's get to it. I do also want to talk about Luigi Mangione, but I almost feel like that's a whole separate episode, but we'll see what we have on time. I want to talk about this real quick. I know you guys saw this. Let's see. All right, let's see. This was crazy, and he got sentenced yesterday. So I don't know if you guys are up for watching the court proceedings, but it was very interesting.
The Nevada judge was just sentenced to 26 years in prison. You may
remember this? Look.
Dramatic video from inside in prison.
It's not funny, but I'm sorry. It's very like
26 years in prison.
what the hell?
Remember this dramatic video
To 20. Well, the man who attacked the Nevada judge was just sentenced to 26 years in prison.
You may remember this dramatic video from in.
If she hadn't moved, y'all, could y'all see this? If he had not, girl, see. But just imagine you're at your job, okay? Just imagine you're at your job and you get attacked like that. I mean, it you know why it's a little now ma'am did get hurt. Ma'am was hurt. She may have had like a spinal injury. I mean, she probably got bumped and bruised. I'm sure her body went into shock, all of those things. Brown Eyed Girl, thank you for supporting, sis. I appreciate you. She probably could have been hurt worse because luckily she saw him. By the grace of God, she looked up, she saw him. Look at this fool. Look, you see how she sees? She's kind of a little startled. She sees him. She's trying to stand on 10 toes. She's trying to stand 10 toes down on it. And then she realizes, oh, he's coming for me. Girl, she said, let me get out of here. So she's already moving. Here comes homie flying. His ass flew, y'all. He flew. Why do they not have him on medication?
Dramatic video from inside the courtroom.
He literally dragged her.
You may remember this dramatic video from in.
Girl, he might have even headbutted her.
26 years in prison.
You may remember this dramatic video from inside the
he pulled her hair. Did you see that?
Courtroom at the time. Deobra Redden.
You know what? I'm going to be honest. He's lucky he didn't get shot. He's lucky a sheriff didn't have a gun drawn and poop, poop, right there. He's very lucky.
Was being sentenced for charges of attempted battery.
And look how hard they have to, but how much effort to pull him off. You know, he hurt that lady. He had to have.
Cameras recorded him leaping over the bench, lunging at the judge.
Girl, look how he came into court. They got him on something good in that court. Thank you, Brown Eyed Girl. Thank you for supporting. Thank you. Okay, period. Thank you, sis. All right. Look, girl, they got him on something good. They might have him on lithium. Okay, what do you think? Any of my medical professionals, what is he now taking? Look how happy he is.
Back in September,
he's like, hey, y'all.
Redden pleaded guilty.
Leaping over the bench, lunging at the judge.
Back in September, Redden pleaded.
Y'all. Sir is happy. Baby, hold on. Let me see what y'all saying, girl. Girl, they got him on dopamine. Girl, they're probably giving him some nerve block. They're probably giving him some sort of really good muscle relaxer on top of anti-anxiety and maybe lithium. That's my cocktail. They are softening him down a little bit in his spine, okay? Giving him something to really relax. Then they are giving him lithium cuz that brain is out of control. And they might be giving him, a good anti-anxiety. He needs all of it. He needs antipsychotic, he needs anti-anxiety, and he needs a muscle relaxer. Cause Sir came in there, damn girl. How did he go from this
6 years in prison?
You may remember this dramatic video from inside the courtroom. At the time,
girl? It's Super
Deobra
Ninja.
Redden was
Girl.
being sentenced for charges of attempted battery. Cameras recorded him leaping over the bench, lunging
To this girl.
at the judge.
Now, who's the man? Who's that clean man
Battery.
in the suit?
Cameras recorded him leaping over
He
the
must
bench.
be like, look, that might be his lawyer. We're gonna find
lunging
out because I've got the girl. Look at him. Hey, y'all.
at the judge.
I'm getting ready to go back to my favorite prison. Look at me.
Back in
Hey, everyone. Good morning.
September, Redden pleaded
Morning.
guilty
Hey,
but
everyone.
mentally
Hey,
ill
y'all.
to charges of attempted murder. He talked during sentencing, saying that he is
Look at the prosecutor. Wait till you see. Oh, he saw his people back there. Y'all, I've got the proceedings so we can watch it. Okay. He is giving ma'am the evil eye the whole entire time.
not an evil person. The judge called the incident in January, quote, an attack on the entire judiciary.
Baby. Okay, hold on a second. Let me find the appropriate video. Is this the one? Okay, yes, this is it. Okay, I started. What girl? Look how he's looking at the prosecutor. The prosecutor is kind of going down. We'll start it from the beginning. I figure we could watch this today because I feel like this was so interesting. Look how he is looking at her. So that is his lawyer in the very well-fitting suit. And look how he is looking at her. He's not even looking at he's like evil eyeing her, and his lawyer is gonna have to talk to him. Hold on. Let me just make sure y'all can see. Lambo, would you stop? Portia. Oh, Portia and Lambo got snacks. Lambo's finished with his snack, and now he's trying to come and get Portia's, and she's basically trying to tell him no. No, sir. Okay, let's see. I have it on 1.25. If it's too fast, we'll fix it. You two stop. Let me go. Girl. You think Nesto's ever gonna act like this coming into court? If he does, he's done. Hey Vic. So happy you got some new cases not in Atlanta. Oh, of course. Y'all love some Atlanta though. I mean, I love Atlanta too. You know I love a good Florida case, okay? But there's just been so much going on that we were kind of a little bit stuck on pause a little bit because y'all like what y'all like. But at the end of the day, we will talk some Nesto later. But just today, I would like to get caught up on some other things because there are people who have been with the shits and they need there's some awareness that needs to be spread on some of this other stuff going on. Girl, it's a lot. There was a Ponzi scheme in Florida. This guy is just getting sentenced. His name is Deobra. It's like Deborah, but it's Deobra. Let me get his last name. But he was in the process of being sentenced for another crime, and he attacked the judge, and it's been a mess. His name is Deobra Redden. And we'll look him up in Nevada. He was in the process of being sentenced, and I'm gonna just say he had some sort of psychotic break. Not to give him an excuse, this ninja is crazy. Like, let's be real. Like, let's just call it what it is. Someone being crazy doesn't mean that they aren't held to account, but at the end of the day, he's not normal. Okay, so he was in the process of being sentenced for something. Girl, he did a Superman flyover and attack the judge. If you missed it, just hit the back button a little bit and you'll see it and get caught up. But this is him being sentenced now for the attack on the judge. Man who leapt bench, attacked judge, sentenced to more than 20 years minimum. Okay, so we're going to hear this. This is on 1.25. Let's speed it up a little bit, at least till he gets into the courtroom. But he comes in the courtroom giddy as hell, like they gave him something really good to chill him out. Look how many they have right there to handle him. Luigi Mangione was acting a fool yesterday too when he got out the car for his first appearance. We're going to talk about that. We may as well because I've got all the paperwork pulled up. Did they open the door yet? Because y'all, when he comes out, I'm sorry. It's like they said, bring him in. Okay. Look at his attorney. He got him. He might have a little bit of coin.
All rise. Department 22.
Girl, it was the girl. We already talked about this, but girl, look when he comes in, y'all.
All rise.
Hey, y'all. Hey, I'm here. I'm going to prison for life.
Department 22 now in session. The Honorable Susan Johnson presiding.
Hey, family. Hey, I love y'all.
Good afternoon, Council.
Good afternoon.
Okay, I'm calling the case.
Girl, he's
of
a
State
happy
of Nevada
criminal.
versus Deobra Redden, case number C 243805558-1. So, Council,
Girl,
please identify yourself.
we're going to talk about Luigi in a minute.
Liz Mercer and John Giordani for the state.
Good afternoon, Carlin for Mr. Redden, Your Honor.
And I see that he's present and in custody. Okay, this is the time set for sentencing. Are we ready to proceed?
We are, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I just want to make sure that you have received our.
I want to know what happened to the judge that he attacked. Like, is she retired? Is she okay? Is she still on leave?
Affidavit dated December 5th and Dr. Pagnini's current update dated December 5th.
Yes, they were very lengthy, single space. I even read them. Mr. Honor.
I knew you would, Your Honor, so thank you.
Okay, all right. Mr. Redden,
Yes, I.
okay, I need you to stand, sir.
Okay. Sorry, I'm a little nauseous. Thing right here.
Are you okay?
Yeah. I'm embarrassed like you.
Okay, all right, sir, I have your guilty plea agreement or memorandum here in front of me, which, as you know, was filed in open court on September 5th of 2024. I canvassed you on this guilty plea memorandum. You signed it, and you answered all of my questions. I am judging you guilty, but mentally ill, to committing the following crimes. Count 1, attempt murder, victim 60 years of age or older, a category B felony, in violation of NRS 200.010, NRS 200.030, NRS 193.153, and NRS 193.167. Count 2, battery on a protected person resulting in substantial bodily harm, victim over 60 years of age or older, a category B felony in violation of NRS 200.481, and count 3, intimidating public officer, a category C felony in violation of NRS 199.300, count 4, battery on an officer resulting in substantial bodily harm, a category B felony in violation of NRS 200.481, count 5, performance of act or neglect of duty in willful or wanton disregard of safety of persons or property, resulting in substantial bodily harm or death, a category C felony in violation of NRS 202.595, count 6, battery by prisoner, a category B felony in violation of NRS 200.481 subsection 2F, and count 7, unlawful act relating to human excrement or bodily fluid, a category B felony in violation of NRS 212.189. Does the state have anything to present?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
Thank you. Your Honor, before I begin my argument, I would note that he has 16 days credit for time served, and that is because he's been under sentence of imprisonment in the case that he was sentenced on in front of Judge Holthus when the events in this case took place. Additionally, the state is requesting a total of $61,318.41 in restitution.
Okay, $61,318
and 41 cents in restitution, and it should be paid to CCMSI. That's the company that administers.
Why is he looking at her like that, y'all? He looks like he's ready to leap and go try and get her.
Workers' comp claims for the 3 officers involved in this incident that sustained injuries. as the court's aware, we filed a very lengthy and detailed sentencing memorandum.
I know, I read that too.
So I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time regurgitating everything in there, but there are some things that I want to point out for the court. Initially, as indicated in our sentencing memorandum, we are asking for significant prison sentences as to each course of conduct, and we're requesting that as to each course of conduct, the sentences run consecutively to one another.
Did you have some?
Girl, consecutively. Keep his ass. They trying to just keep him in
The
jail.
counts would run concurrently
I
as to
mean,
the
I
victim,
get
but
it.
consecutive between the various victims, essentially.
Right.
And so it's the state's position, Your Honor, that the defendant's very lengthy criminal history, his demonstrated lack of impulse control, and his inability to completely accept responsibility for his conduct, as well as the egregious actions in this case.
Look at her. Look at him.
I would note that his criminal history.
Why? Look. Why? And I know his lawyer is not paying attention at this moment, girl. He's a leaper. Girl. And he's got a lengthy psychological profile report. Girl, you better keep your comments cute and short, but she's getting ready to talk a lot, and he's just staring at her with his shackle belt. He has a whole shackle belt on.
Dates back to 2011.
Look, okay, here comes the other sheriff around the side because he's got two right there, but he is mean mugging her so hard they probably said, look, go ahead and stand in between.
In each event, as you read through the reports,
Come on
they all
up.
stem from his poor impulse control issues.
Look, the chin's going up. That type of body language is, I'm getting ready, I'm coming.
And prior to this,
Look, they're watching him.
he was convicted in 12 other cases. They all involved some level of violence. In 9 of the 12 cases that he
Look. Did you see how he's like, wait a second, tell her to shut the fuck up. He's like, how much are we paying you? Can you handle her, please? Girl, he's very scary. He's very scary, right? Girl, this is a mess. Okay, let's go back just a second. Look how he's looking at her.
they all involved some level of violence. In 9 of the 12 cases,
She lying.
Committed new offenses while charges were pending. And the longest that he went without reoffending was a period of 2 years and 2 months. The only time that he did not commit new crimes was when he was in custody, Your Honor, and subject to detention. I point these things out because it is obvious from his demonstrated failure at supervision that
Look at his body language.
probation is completely inappropriate for someone like Mr. Redden, and he should be detained for as long as possible.
She seems like she's a little nervous.
He's safe is when he's in custody. He has demonstrated that he's incapable of being rehabilitated or reformed.
Look, they're having to
When you look
talk
at
to
his record,
him.
He was actually in mental health court for a total of 5 years. And even after that 5 years, he committed 2 more violent offenses. One was an attempted home invasion and committed in September of 2021. And then in April of 2023, he committed the assault with deadly weapon that was dealt down to the attempted battery, resulting in substantial bodily harm, for which Judge Holthus.
Can I just say, even this man who is absolutely nuts, he's got a whole row of people there to support. Nesto, where are your people at?
Sentenced him. And then in January 2024, when he showed up for sentencing, in that case, he committed the horrific crimes in this case. Additionally, as the court is aware, you were provided 2 expert reports, one from Dr. Rowley and one from Dr. Paganini. Both doctors found that he was not suffering from any sort of delusional disorder at the time he committed the crime.
He's back there messing with his
Dr.
chains.
Rowley noted that he has problematic insight.
What is he doing?
But noted that those issues relate to personality issues and not his mental illness. And in Dr. Paganini's report at the bottom of page 17, he noted that he has no insight or self-awareness pertaining to his violent history. On page 26, he noted, or I'm sorry, page 34, he noted that Mr. Redden's impaired judgment is based on personality dynamics and not psychosis. So Mr. Redden was perfectly aware of what was going on at the time he committed the crimes in this case. I think that what you notice pretty glaringly when you look at his criminal history is that Mr. Redden has repeatedly failed to recognize that he is the common denominator in these cases. It is his actions that end him up in situations such as this. It is not him being victimized by other people. It is his conduct. And until he accepts responsibility for reforming his conduct and for his poor impulse control, he's really incapable of being rehabilitated, because if he doesn't believe that he's done anything wrong, what's the incentive to improve?
Look how he's looking at her.
Mr. Redden cannot be permitted to retaliate against the sitting judge and officers of the court when he's displeased with the outcome of a criminal case. Judges need to be free to make the rulings that they believe are appropriate based upon the
If he literally could jump to her, he would.
information presented to them. And due to his extreme conduct in this case, a heavy sentence is warranted, Your Honor. It is my understanding that Judge Holthus does not wish to address the court personally, but she has prepared a statement that Mr. Giordani will read to the court with the court's permission. We would ask that it be read last, as it is essentially a victim impact statement, which would statutorily be provided to the court last.
Thank you.
Your Honor, I'll let Mr. Redden speak first. He wants to address the court.
Judge, Miss Judge Susan H. Johnson, I don't understand why the state is like really going after my character. I mean, I've always had problems since I was a little kid of like psychosis and being in big crowds and always feel like my life is in danger. I didn't know, being a young person, even in middle school, elementary school, knowing that like I fear for my safety. I'm just being me, going to school, growing up, trying to do the right things. I never get tired of trying to do the right things. The state just said that I have no remorse. Like, I feel like Judge Johnson, she doesn't know me. I understand she's doing her job. I'm not mad at her for that, but I know that I'm not a bad person. And I'm thinking, like, even she knows that, but I'm sitting here like she's doing her job, you know? And I believe that you all know that I'm not a bad person. I'm not an evil person. When I came to court on January 3rd, 2024, I was listening to music. I was in a good mood. I had a stable place to stay. I was trying to get a job. I did not catch any new charges. I'm not a bad person. I don't understand why the state is trying to prove me as a bad person. I understand they have a job to do, but this is just, it's not right to me. You know, I'm not an evil guy, and I just keep going after me. I see spirits, I hear voices. I've been going through this for over a decade now, really since 2012, you know, and I just feel attacked or just not safe since I was a little kid. And me growing up, I didn't know that I had these problems. In 2022, I came to prison for the first time. I accepted responsibility for my actions. When I did what I did, I committed a crime in 2020 of December. It was 4 years ago. I paid my debt to society. I got out thinking I'm gonna get work. I was really sick and ill. I was very malnourished. I don't complain about things. I don't point the blame when people have done me wrong. I still treat everybody right. And the state just stated that I have no remorse and they feel like I'm a bad person. I just don't understand, why are they coming after me like this? But I understand they have a job to do. When I came to court, I know for a fact, Judge Johnson, I met Judge Holthus in 2023 of October. And you know what she told me when she revoked my probation? She said, Mr. Redden, I hope you get the help you truly need. I said, thank you so much. And I meant it. I know for a fact I'm not an evil person. I think all of you guys know that, you know, but I'm not gonna use stuff like me being on camera for my actions, you know, but I know for a fact that I cared about Judge Mary Kay Holthus's well-being. When I left my house that day at 8 Rose Circle, I left my keys to my apartment, to my family, you know, and I got in the car and I came to court doing the right thing. I gave up everything, like in case I don't get probation. I was like, well, at least I know I tried. And I'm sitting here talking to Judge Holthus, Ms. Johnson, and I swear I started hearing voices in 2012, really in 2014. I'm making a long story short, but I just want to get the facts out because I don't want the state. I understand they have a job to do, but I'm not a bad person. I'm not an evil guy. But I came to court and I'm in a good mood. I'm listening to music on my phone. I'm like, oh, whatever. I remember I about to hug my mom, my foster mother who raised me since I was 11 years old. I hugged her just in case I don't depress. You can see it in the videotape, so I was in a good mood. I don't want to be known as a person who has mental illness because those people get attacked. I've heard so many people who have mental illness commit suicide and kill themselves and commit things that they really don't mean. I hope I don't have mental illness. I try not to have mental illness, you know. I don't want to be known as a person who has mental illness because they get attacked, you know. So I try my best when I'm going through all these problems. Since I was a little boy, like I told you, I didn't know I had these problems until 2 years ago. I was sitting down in prison and I had this dictionary and I was like, oh, that's what that word means. That's what that really means. I didn't know that. Oh, stuff has a deeper meaning. You know, like, wow, I never could think like this. I was in prison with nothing to do. I did a 12 to 30 months. I did 15 months total, and I cleaned up my sentence. I paid my debt to society, and I got out as a good, productive member of society. I didn't know and didn't want to believe that I had mental problems. I started seeing spirits November 2022. I'm not making excuses for my actions. I'm saying I'm not a bad person. And I know that I did not intend to kill Mary Kay Holthus. I know I cared about her well-being, Judge Johnson. And I came to court that day and I was talking to her and I told her I never stopped trying to do the right things. I wasn't pointing like, oh, this person did this to me. I deserve a chance of probation. Is this not fair? All I see was red, and all I heard her say, oh, this, she said, I finally watched the whole video. I was standing here in the courtroom with all of you guys. I finally saw the entire video, Judge Johnson. I'm like, I can't believe this. And I wasn't even mad at Michael Lawson. I was like, I commend him on doing for what he did, and everybody in the prison trying to make me hate him and hate the judge. And I'm still trying to do the right thing. They put stuff in my ear and I can't get away from it. But basically what I'm trying to say is everything I've been doing, this is just like, this is not right to me. But like I said, I know the state has a job to do. And basically what I'm saying is I know I cared about Mary Kay Holthus, to make a long story short. But when I was sitting here talking to her, I swear this has been happening to me since 2012. I saw nothing but red, and I heard her say, I think it's time for a taste of something else. I saw nothing but red, and I don't remember doing anything except for jumping on top of her and doing this to her robe. I was like, why are you doing this to me? That's what I wanted to ask her, if I think I know myself, but I'm not really sure. That's the only thing I could come up with. I had 11 months, so I can't really come up with anything, but I know that I cared about Judge Mary Kay Holthus' well-being, That's all. Thank you.
Can you sit during my,
Sure.
Girl, he said a mouthful. There was no way to even interrupt
here to
on that one.
state
He said a
that
lot.
They're saying it's a lack of
Girl,
control.
sir,
I
take
agree with that.
responsibility.
However, he's adjudicated not guilty, but by mental illness. And so, bottom line, his ability to control his impulses are vastly different from my ability, from Mr. Giordani's ability. He does not have the same ability to control his anger, what he's going to do, because as you saw in Dr. Paglini's report, from day one, from birth, he has had this mental illness based upon his mother's drug use at the time of her pregnancy, the stuff that he saw during him growing up, going through different households, going to a stable home in his foster parent, but he was still unable to comply with just normal behaviors. And all of that should be taken into account. I think this case starts again in April of 2013. The 18th is when he was arrested after going after his brother-in-law with the baseball bat.
My God.
Basically, again, this was during a period of time where he wasn't doing his medication. He was off his meds. He's going through his paranoid disorders, whatever those that were outlined by Dr. Paglini. And this whole incident arises from that. He gets into court and he's deemed incompetent. He can't comply with the normal court proceedings that were occurring. He refused transport 3-4 different times. Then he gets into court and he's unable to control himself. Why? Because he wasn't on medication. He goes to competency court. He is eventually given medication to subdue the voices, to subdue his impulses, and he's able to comply. That person that is able to comply is the person that we see today, Your Honor. We made sure that he was on his medication. We asked the prison. I asked him personally. That wasn't done prior to his sentencing in the original case that occurred out of the 2023 incident. And that's the other point I wanted to bring up. This case is very different than most of the cases where we have a mentally incompetent person in the court proceedings. Usually their incompetency keeps them in custody. This is the first that I'm aware of that they're actually released out of custody. He was released, and then he had the inability to get back on the medication that was being given to him free of charge at Clark County Detention Center. He tries to make appointments, as you saw in Miss Springer's
is giving Krill's cousin
to get this medication. For 2 months after his release, which again is an occurrence that I haven't seen before, he's unable to get that medication. Of course, he's going to slip back into the same impulsive behaviors that he had before. Of course, he's going to slip back and not being able to suppress the thoughts and delusions that he was having. He went back right to what we saw in August 2023. And so again, that should all be taken into consideration. The state is asking for consecutive time. Part and parcel, his mental illness continued from the 2023 incident all the way until today. He was never released after sentencing in January 2024. We're asking, and I'll get to how much time.
The prosecutor said he had 16 days credit.
Concurrent with his sentence that was received from Judge Holthus, the 1948, to whatever Your Honor believes is appropriate today. And the reason why we're asking for this to be concurrent is simply because he didn't have the chance to get out. He didn't have the chance to rehabilitate himself. He didn't have the chance to demonstrate to the court that, okay, he learned his lesson. He was still under the state's control during the time of his sentencing. The state that we forgot to inquire prior to his sentencing, whether he was under his medication, the same state that didn't provide him with his medication, the Mojave Health Clinic, you know, being it during the holidays, was unable to give him an appointment. I believe that this case has shed light on people's mental illness and what we have to do to, number one, bring them into court and understand what they're going through. And I don't think the answer is just throw away the key, give them a whole bunch of years. That benefits no one. We understand that a message has to be given. Since he's been on his medication, as you see him today, Your Honor, he's being courteous, he's being compliant, and he's deeply remorseful about the events and what happened that day. What I haven't shared with anyone other than my staff, and me and Mr. Redden talked about it. The first time that he saw the entire video was right here in court during the presentation of evidence. I was sitting right next to him. His reaction was very visceral. It was almost like he wanted to throw up. He called himself a monster. He did, Your Honor. That's me. I'm a monster. I can't believe that I did that. I did not mean to hurt that woman like that. I can't believe that I did that. That's what he said sitting in the same exact chair during trial. I believe he just, like he said, he doesn't have any specific recollection of coming over the bench, but when he saw it, he was deeply remorseful. He was just shocked about how he could act that way. And I think, Your Honor, all that should be taken into consideration. He understands the difficult position that you're in. We talked about this at length. I told him, there's just no way you're going to be granted probation in this matter. That was spelled out to him. Also, what was spelled out, there has to be a message that, you know, you can't come flying over the bench because you didn't get the sentence that you wanted, or you're upset with the sentence.
Girl, you didn't get the sentence that you wanted. Oh my God. Hold on, I'm sorry.
Protection to has to be because you didn't get the sentence that you wanted, or you're upset with the sentence. It has to be protection to your honor. It has to be protection to the prosecutors.
Girl, it's giving Crail's cousin Frail.
And so that message has to be sent, so we don't have the next Joe Schmo that gets upset and takes it out on court staff or anybody surrounding that.
Crail's cousin
Benjamin
Crail Lewis
understanding,
of
he knows that
Maryland.
he has to do some time. What we're
You can't be
asking
mad because you
for,
didn't
Your
get the
Honor,
sentence that you
is,
wanted. You can't come flying over
4
the
to
bench.
11-year sentence. How we got to that was a 2 to 5 on counts 1, 2,
He said, I was so
3,
mad. All
4,
I could
and
see
5,
was red.
all to run
Frail
concurrent.
Lewis.
Consecutive to that, and by statute, counts 6 and 7, we're asking for a 2 to
Okay,
6.
thank you so much, Sleepless in
So,
New York City. He was
the
mad. He was
total of
mad,
that
mad. Yes,
and the count 6
absolutely.
and 7 to run concurrent with each other. So, and we're asking also that be concurrent with his current 19 to 48 sentence. So we're
No, it's
asking
not going to
for
be.
a 4
It's going to be
to 11-year
consecutive. You already
sentence.
know.
I think that's sufficient, considering number one, his mental illness that he was under, his inability throughout life to control his actions based upon that mental illness, the state and our failure to be able to recognize mental illness and what we should do in terms of addressing it, getting him the type of help, and not just throwing him into prison, but figuring out ways, which we're not equipped with, but a psychologist would be more adept to figure out how to help these individuals and give them a life plan or whatever it takes, so when they do get out into society, they're able to comply and have appropriate behavior. As you saw from Ms. Springer's affidavit, this was an individual, coming off of his meds that still wanted to comply. He had a living arrangement. He was trying to get to his appointments. He even obtained a job at the Teamsters union and received a dispatcher job, while he was waiting for sentencing that day. This is a person that can and would be able to do it, given the appropriate help from a psychologist and mental health counseling. So we're asking again, Your Honor, considering all the information that was provided to you, considering the gravity of, his mental illness and his life, that you sentencing to what we recommended. And with that, I submit.
Thank you.
On behalf of Judge Holthus, Judge, the impact on me and my family has been substantial, both mentally and physically. The impact on my professional family has also been significant, both mentally and physically, especially in the case of my Marshal Shane, who suffered horrific injuries trying to protect me. To him, I am incredibly thankful and so very sorry. But for 6 men, grown men, half of whom were unarmed, I would not be here. To them, I owe my life and will forever be grateful. For years, the system has tried unsuccessfully to help the defendant conform his behavior and limit the danger he presents. Instead, his behavior has escalated to this: trying to kill me as I sat, just doing my job, in a courtroom surrounded by guards and court personnel. He made a conscious decision to kill me and made every effort to succeed. If he had his way, he'd be facing a sentence of life without the possibility of parole for murder. It is likely no surprise that for me, as well as his future victims who may not be as lucky, I wish for the maximum sentence allowed.
Thank you. Were there any other speakers?
No, we'll submit.
Mr. Redden, I am not going to run any sentence that I impose today concurrent with that issued by Judge Holthus. In my view, you committed separate crimes, and that results in separate sentences. So it's not going to run concurrent to what she has previously issued as far as the sentence. All right. With respect to this sentence, first of all, there will be a $25 administrative assessment fee, a $3 DNA administrative fee. And Mr. Arnold, Were you appointed or were you retained on
No,
this?
I actually did this case pro bono, Your Honor.
There will not be any DNA testing.
They got to be kidding, right? $25.
Your actions on that day, you know, it was not just retaliation or an attack on Judge Holthus. It was also an attack on the judiciary. And I'm mindful of that. And while there is no question that you've got some mental illness issues, which is why you pled guilty but mentally ill. But there was no doubt by these doctors that you knew the difference between right and wrong. And you did what you did. So this is what I'm going to do with respect to the sentence. Okay, with respect to count 1, sir, I'm going to do this. The minimum term that you would serve would be 8 years, and the maximum term will be 20 years. Plus, there will be a consecutive potential maximum term of 8 years to 20 years. So with respect to count 1, the minimum term that you will be serving combined would be 16 years, and the maximum will be 40 years. With respect to count 2, the minimum term that you will serve will be 4 years, and the maximum term will be 10 years. With respect to the consecutive enhancement, the age enhancement, the minimum that you will serve will be 4 years, and the maximum will be 10 years. So with respect to count 2, the minimum term combined will be 8 years, and the maximum will be 20 years. The term that I impose with respect to count 2 will run concurrent to count 1. With respect to count 3,
He said, look, I'm gonna be here for you on some free. Girl, it looked like he's praying. Is he reading his legal pad or is he praying for him?
The maximum term will be 5 years. That term will run consecutive to count 1. With respect to count 4, the minimum term that you will serve will be 4 years, and the maximum term will be 10 years. That also will
He might be.
to
His lawyer got his hand on him like, be easy. I came to help, but I can't help you if you don't help yourself.
with respect to counts. Wait a minute, yeah. Okay. With respect
Girl,
to
is she
counts
not
6
even
and
done
7,
yet? He's got a lot to be
serve the
sentenced
minimum
to.
term, and both of those counts will be 4 years.
Mm.
The maximum term will be 10 years. However, those will run concurrent to each other, right? So I'm not following what your attorney has suggested. I am following what the state has suggested. Did I catch them all?
I believe you skipped 5.
With 5? Correct. Sorry about that. Okay. The sentence with respect to count 5 will be a minimum term of 2 years, and the maximum will be 5 years. That will run consecutive to count 4.
And then counts 6 and 7 are concurrent to each other and concurrent to.
And consecutive to, well, wait a minute, that was, count 6 was with respect to Officer Redden, right?
Officer Boo, you're on
Officer
6 and 7.
Boo. That will run consecutive to counts, the other counts. See if I can. Did you get all those?
So with respect to count 6, it's to run consecutive to counts 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Right.
And then as far as count 7, it's to run concurrent to count 6.
Correct.
Thank you.
Could you get to the advocate, please? When you get a chance, you need something?
Yes.
You show 26 to 65.
I'm going to verify.
Yo, I lost count too. I think it's somewhere like 26 to 85 years or 26 to 65 years. 8 years too. But what's concurrent and what is consecutive? He has a lot. He's going to be in there at least 25 or 26 years. And I think he's got a max up to like 65 years, something like that.
And Your Honor, as to the restitution?
There will also be restitution to the victim.
Thank you, Judge.
Girl, they got to get their calculators out. Yes, because I mean, if he loses his shit again, it's going. She might be like, look, it max on everything. That's it. When he came in smiling, I died. Hey, everybody.
This will run
He's touched. He needs to be.
Yeah, count 2 will run concurrent to count 1.
Look, one thing we know, he been eating good. Okay, he's been eating good. That might be. He said, "My, you know, I."
How many months did you have on the bottom? 120?
We had 26 years to 65 years aggregate.
I mean, attacking a judge. What?
Okay. And there will also be restitution to the victim, payable to the victim in the amount of $61,318.41, and that is CCMSI.
Yes, Your Honor.
And what does that stand for? 41 cents payable to the victim. Okay. And there will also be restitution to the victim, payable to the victim in the amount of $61,318.
$61,000?
CCMSI.
Yes, Your Honor.
And what does that stand for?
I don't know. I apologize, Your Honor.
Okay, could you do me a favor and let me know what that is, because we need to put that in the judgment of conviction. And we need to give this gentleman credit for time served.
16 days.
60 days?
16.
16 days.
Basically nothing.
Okay,
Thank you, Judge.
okay, thank you.
Oh, they're back there crying. They are back there crying. I mean, it's sad and everything, but girl, did you guys see him act a fool yesterday? Hold on. Are they going to show that girl? He got out the car acting a complete fool. Okay, hold on. Let's see what they have to say.
Week's murder of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson remains behind bars in Pennsylvania after a judge denied bail. At one point, Luigi Mangione struggled and yelled at press as deputies transported him to the courthouse.
He's also expected to fight extradition back to New York on second-degree murder charges. Garrett Hill has the latest.
Shouting to the cameras.
Did the cop hit him or was he trying to grab him? Did we witness the cop? Girl, they had the lady. Look, I'm not trying to. There's plenty of women who are very strong and everything, but this guy is clearly like right about 6 feet tall. And ma'am, you're not like, come on now. New York
on second-degree murder
they
charges.
Let the lady
Garrett
handle
Hill
him. Look, he bucked her too, and then next thing you know, look.
The cameras.
Okay, so he was trying to. Girl, it's that orange suit.
On second-degree murder charges. Garrett Hill has the latest.
Shouting to the cameras.
Oh, okay. He was trying to get a hold of him, but he like took a skip step. And then he wanted to talk to the press, and he was, you see how she kind of had to handle him? She almost lost hold of him. Girl, then he's a mess.
Luigi Mangione.
Girl, people are out here losing it. They are losing it. Okay. Oh. Oh my God. They are losing it out here, y'all.
Work on second-degree murder charges. Garrett Hill has
Girl, the male newscaster and the female.
the latest.
Shouting.
Girl, look at sis. Sis was like, they didn't tell me I had to get the crazy person out the car. I got to get the United Healthcare bomber, the United Healthcare shooter out the damn car. Why y'all give him to me? I'm just a lady.
To the camera.
Look at this dude right here, Mr. Bulk and Buffy. Girl, look at I work out 3 times a day, Mr. Waldman. Completely out of touch and an insult to the intelligence of the American people.
Luigi Mangione entered a Pennsylvania courthouse defiant Tuesday. The 26-year-old Maryland native denied bail and fighting extradition to New York, where he's charged with second-degree
They got that photo. They were like, okay.
murder, accused of killing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. Mangione.
Girl, we're gonna watch the attorney's press conference. Was giving Cousin Vinny.
His lawyer says he plans to plead not guilty.
I haven't seen any evidence that says that he's the shooter.
Altoona.
When I saw his attorney's press conference yesterday, I died.
Police arrested the suspect Monday after he was spotted at this McDonald's.
It's unbelievable.
This man says he was there at the same time.
I thought it was.
I was
everyone
getting a
kidding
Big
around.
Mac,
One
and
guy
I was
said,
just like,
"That looks like the shooter from New York."
According to
from New York.
investigators,
What's
police
going
found
on?
Mangione with a 3D printed gun and a silencer.
Is
similar
that the
to one
shooter
used
from
to
New
shoot,
York? I
plus
think he just got a Big
handwritten
Mac.
3-page note reading in part, "These parasites simply had it coming."
He explained his reasons for doing what he did, which in his mind was precisely to deplore the state of healthcare in the United States.
Mangione had complained about a back injury on social media.
Do you know that he was suffering from a spinal misalignment that had been ongoing for quite some time? I just feel heartbroken, somebody that I loved and cared about, that could have done something so hideous.
Authorities say the extradition process could take up to 30 days.
Well, Pennsylvania and New York police say they've received threats since the suspect's arrest. The Altoona McDonald's, where someone spotted Mangione, has now hired private security. Google has also taken down a myriad of negative reviews that have been.
Did you guys see, and I don't know if this was real or not, that Burger King put up like a tweet or maybe an Instagram, whatever. Maybe it was an X. It was an X, post talking about we don't snitch. Did you guys see that? I saw it in passing, but I don't know if that was real or not, because I could not imagine Burger King being so stupid to do something like that. Girl, Burger King and Popeyes corporate, they did. Girl, if they did do, girl, look, I'm gonna use Miss Tina's quote. If you see something that is not characteristic of me, it ain't me. That's what Miss Tina said about liking Jay-Z's rape post. Okay, guys, if you didn't see my live last night on OSIP, I shared it on my community wall. Go check it out. Did I post? I didn't post it in here yet. Anyway, I know I'm getting older by the grace of God. Thank you. But he looks young. He looks like he's a senior in high school. Okay. All right, guys, let's get into it over here. This is the indictment from New York. I guess I'm going in reverse. But this is the indictment from New York. And basically, where are we? Let me move this comment so you guys can actually get a chance to see. It's a felony arrest warrant. And okay, so not indictment. There's a felony arrest warrant. They want to charge him with murder in the second degree, criminal possession of a weapon in the second degree, criminal possession of a weapon, second degree, criminal possession of a forged instrument in second degree, and criminal possession of a weapon in the third degree on or about December 4th, 2024 at about 6:44 a.m. outside of 133 Avenue of the Americas in the county and state of New York. The defendant with intent to cause, and this is for Mangione, this is the people of the state of New York against Luigi Mangione. Don't feel sorry for Luigi. His parents own a country club. This is a rich kid. Don't feel sorry for him. This guy has plenty of money. Why he was so worried about health care, I do not know. His family has money in Maryland, and I'm not just talking about little money. I'm talking about his parents own, which I think his father's now passed away, but his family owns a country club. He went to an Ivy League school. Don't feel sorry for him. He's going to be just fine. Okay. He's with the shits, and that's just what it is. Okay. He has certain feelings, and it is what it is. They should have noticed that something was going on with Luigi and helped him a long time ago. With the intent to cause death of another person, cause the death of such person, the defendant possessed a loaded firearm with the intent to use it unlawfully against another. The defendant possessed a loaded firearm outside of his home and place of business. The defendant uttered and possessed a forged instrument of a kind specified in section 170.10 of the penal law and particularized below, with knowledge that the instrument was forged and with intent to defraud, deceive, and injure another. The defendant possessed firearm silencer. Factual basis for these charges are as follows. I have reviewed surveillance video depicting the exterior of the Hilton at above location, specifically a camera angle depicting 54th Street between 6th Avenue and Avenue of the Americas. In the surveillance footage, approximately 6:44 a.m., a man wearing a distinctive clothing outfit, the shooter approached Brian Thompson from behind, and then the shooter held what I recognized to be a firearm with a silencer attached at the end and fired it several times at Brian Thompson, causing him to collapse on the ground. I am informed by Detective Oscar Diaz, Shield 4656 of Manhattan South Homicide Squad, that he was present for the autopsy of Brian Thompson, and the cause of Mr. Thompson's death was determined to be gunshot wound to the torso. The defendant is the person shooting and killing Brian Thompson in the above described surveillance footage based upon the evidence collected during the investigation, including but not limited to surveillance footage that I have reviewed from the Hilton, I guess the Hilton International, New York City. Oh, the New York City hostel at 891 Amsterdam Avenue, which depicts the same man wearing the same clothing leaving the hostel December 4th at 5:34. Surveillance footage that I have reviewed from the same hostel that depicts the same man checking into the hostel November 24th. Damn, he was there for several days. At about 1:20 p.m. and showing a driver's license upon check-in. I have reviewed business records from the hostel and showed that a man provided a New Jersey driver's license with the name Mark Rosario. On it, number 4, I am informed by Detective Diaz that he is informed by Patrolman Tyler Fry, badge number 351, of the Altoona Police Department, that December 9th at 9:58 a.m., defendant was taken into custody at a McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania. That defendant presented a forged New Jersey driver's license with the same name, Mark Rosario. That's where he fucked up, because look, I don't have this is a crime and we're discussing it. And at the end of the day, when he checked in, the tie-in with his lawyer fighting extradition and saying that it's not his client, when his client pulled out the same ID that he used to check into the hostel, he should have, we're not trying to make criminals smarter, but at the end of the day, he probably was nervous when the police officer asked him for his ID. But when he gave that same ID that he checked into the hostel, and the person in the picture matches up with him, the same name that he registered, and then the ID that he gave to the officer, I mean, you're busted. You busted your damn self. That was stupid. When he used that ID and he left New York, he should have trashed it. That ID should have never been used again as his identification. So at the McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania, the defendant presented a forged New Jersey driver's license with the same name, Mark Rosario, as his identification, which based on the number on it and the same identification defendant presented at the hostel, and that in defendant's belongings. Patrolman Christy Wasser, badge 250, found a semi-automatic pistol in what appears to be a 3D printed loader receiver with a metal slide and silencer, and written admissions about the crime. Was he writing a Dear Diary? Okay, so this is what we have so far. False statements made and written. Okay, so so that's that for the people versus the city of New York. This is the arrest warrant right here, guys. Okay. Detective Yusuf Deems, shield number 01575 of Midtown North Precinct Detective Squad, states as follows. And these are what they are coming in with at the moment regarding Luigi. Okay. Let me see where you guys are at. You guys, I'm working off of one screen right now just because of the issues I've been having. So just bear with me. As far as comments are concerned, so you guys talk to each other. Okay. And if I miss a comment, you guys know why. Okay. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Now, this, I'm not exactly sure what this is, but we'll read it together. Let's read it. And I shall read. Just a sec. And this is the transportation order. Okay. Girl. And it's got its stamp on it. This was stamped yesterday. Is yesterday? Today? Okay, there's so much stuff happening so quickly. Okay. In the Court of Common Pleas of Blair County, Pennsylvania, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, Luigi Mangione, they gave him inmate QQ 7787 on this day and now. Transportation order. And now. I'm going to start sentences like that too. And now. This 10th day of December 2024, upon motion of Peter J. Weeks, District Attorney of the County of Blair, Commonwealth, Pennsylvania, it appearing to the court that Luigi Mangione, a Blair County inmate being held by SCI Huntington with inmate QQ 7787, is presently located in Huntington State Correctional Institution. So they have him over at the prison. They don't even have him at the jail. They're not trusting. It further appearing that a felony arrest warrant exists for Luigi Mangione. It is hereby ordered, directed, and decreed. Okay, not declared and decreed, but directed and decreed that members of Blair County Sheriff's Department are hereby directed to transport said Luigi Mangione from his present location to the Blair County Prison to await the execution of said arrest warrant and to undergo arraignment. It is further ordered, directed, and decreed that this order shall be carried out by members of Blair County Sheriff's Department on December 10th, 24, or when scheduling permits, and immediately following the execution of said arrest warrant, the arraignment, Luigi Mangione, shall be returned to Huntington State Correctional Institution from which he has been temporarily released unless otherwise directed by this court. They're not even going to play with him over at the county jail because he's too dangerous and they know he's too smart. And, let the record show he got too much money. He comes from money. Don't even be distracted by his lawyer. We're going to see him in a minute. His lawyer is it's giving a little my cousin Vinny, just on some, you might almost think like it's not a whole lot going on there, but this guy's probably very skilled and knows exactly what he's doing. So just like in my cousin Vinny, Joe Pesci came very unassuming, but he handled that business, right? You think he's going to get off a gun charge and the system? I mean, they need to, his lawyer, let me just read this next one and we'll go look at the press conference. And then I think I'm gonna let y'all go because lunch, and then we'll come back later. And I've got a Nesto video for y'all. Okay. Let's read this one. This is the Altoona Police Department arrest affidavit. They charged him with several things as well. So he picked up charges. Girl, he picked up a bunch of charges. He picked up, let me not go to this is page 2. This is where they picked him up on 407 Plank Road. They redacted some things out. Okay. So his number one charge, he got forgery because he had a fake ID, right? His next charge, firearms not to be carried without a license. So he was in there. They found a firearm in him. So forgery, a firearm, tampering with records or identification. So forgery, which was, I guess, the creating of, and then tampering with. So it wasn't maybe just a fake. Maybe it was an altered fake. So it was an altered legit ID, but maybe he messed with it, right? And then he picked up possession of instruments of a crime. And then they also gave him false identification to law enforcement. So lying to the police. Okay. Here we go. To wit, on the aforementioned date and time on December 9th, 2024 at 9:14 hours, affiant, I don't know what that is. Oh, maybe Patrolman Fry and co-affiant Patrolman Detweiler of the Altoona Police Department were dispatched to 407 East Plank Road, Altoona, for a suspicious male who resembled a male from a recent shooting in New York on December 4th. Officers were advised in the dispatch notes that the male was wearing a medical mask and a beanie. Dun, dun, dun. Is that weird? Because a few years ago, that wouldn't have been weird. But now it's weird, guys. If you are in Altoona, baby, if you have on a surgical mask, they're going to be looking at you funny. Okay. They said there was a suspicious male who resembled the recent shooting. And he had on a surgical mask and a beanie. Upon arrival, officers were able to locate the male matching the aforementioned description sitting in the rear of the building at a table. He was wearing a blue medical mask and was looking at a silver laptop computer that was placed on the table. The male also had a backpack on the floor near a table he was sitting at. Co-affiant made contact with the male and informed him that officers were called to the McDonald's for a suspicious male matching his description. Co-affiant asked the male to pull down his medical mask so he could see his face. The male complied and pulled down his mask. Affiant and co-affiant immediately recognized him as the suspect from New York City incident after seeing photos released from media sources. Co-affiant asked the male for identification and provided officers a New Jersey driver's license bearing the name of Mark Rosario, date of birth 7/21/98. Affiant took the license and ran the information through the dispatch center. Co-affiant asked the male if he had been in New York recently, and the male became quiet and started to shake. Additional units from the Altoona Police Department arrived on the scene to assist affiant and co-affiant in identifying the male. At this time, dispatch was unable to find any information on NCIC with the information provided by officers. Lieutenant Henley arrived on the scene and also ran the information the male provided to officers, but still found no records were able to be found. The male was advised that he was under an official police investigation, and if he lied out his identity, he would be, if maybe they meant to say if that he was under official police investigation, and if he lied about his identity, he would get arrested. The mail then stated that his name was defendant Luigi Mangione and his girl. He gave himself up. The mail was then advised. Okay, the mail then stated he was the defendant, Luigi Mangione, with the date of birth as 5698. The driver's license that defendant Mangione provided to officers was found to be a fake identification card. Patrolman Fox asked the defendant why he lied about his name, and the defendant replied, I clearly shouldn't have. Lieutenant Henley then instructed officers to place the defendant into custody for 4101A3 forgery and 4914A false information to law enforcement. The defendant was placed into custody. The defendant was handcuffed and was searched on the scene. The defendant was then transported back to Altoona Police Department station where his property was inventoried pursuant to Altoona Police Department's policy. During the search, the defendant's backpack, the officers located a black 3D printed pistol with a black silencer. The pistol had a metal slide and a plastic handle with a metal threaded barrel. The pistol had one loaded Glock magazine with 6 9mm full metal jacket rounds. There were also one loose 9mm hollow point round, and the silencer was 3D printed. The defendant is being charged with forgery, firearms not to be carried without a license, tampering with records or identifications, instruments of a crime, and false identification to law enforcement. The defendant will be fingerprinted and photographed. That's what happened in Altoona, guys. If you were wondering, that's what happened in Altoona. Okay. Let me see. Charged with the criminal. Okay. I've got the criminal complaint, but it's really more so. We confirmed the insurance. Okay, let's see what these are. Affidavit of a credible person in another state of the crime. So maybe this is them documenting that there is something going on in another state and that they're basically holding him. Arrest prior to requisition. Okay. Affidavit is of a credible person in another state of a crime committed. Hold on a second. Let me put this one up. Okay. Offense number 1, affidavit of any credible person in another state that a crime has been committed in such other state and that the accused has been charged in such state with the commission of a crime, and except in cases arising under 9127 has fled from justice with having been convicted of a crime in a state and having escaped from confinement or having broken the terms of his jail, probation, or parole. So maybe this is the fugitive. This is the fugitive complaint. Okay, this is what this is. Okay, so this is the offense number 1. This is the fugitive complaint number 1. So that was complaint number 1. Number 2, I asked that a warrant of arrest or summons be issued. I verify that the fact. So this is the fugitive complaint, which is I guess probably sent from. This is from Pennsylvania. This is the fugitive complaint. So they're pretty much documenting, I guess, why New York maybe asked them to hold him and why they're holding him. But this is the fugitive complaint form. Okay. All right, let me go back to you guys and see what's going on. Okay, wait, let's pull up his picture. We're talking about Luigi, guys. Girl. Oh, let me pull up the press conference, and then I think I'm going to let y'all go. Where y'all at? Okay. If the shooter arrived in New York City days ahead, how did he know the timing? I mean, We don't know. I mean, look, the easy thing could be maybe he knows, look, it was an investor conference. You know how, I mean, if any of you work for large companies, these small companies, but large companies have their annual meetings and they talk about how the year has gone, what's coming up for the next year. They may even like big promotions, like so and so's our new division president, blah, 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 blah. This, I mean, if they're having a huge investor meeting, that's been on the books probably from the previous year, right? So if he's been studying this guy, he's got an axe to grind. Like, mental illness is real. So this guy possibly could have either been studying this guy and had an axe to grind with this guy. It can't be that he's mad because he got turned down for a claim. This man is rich. He went to an Ivy League school. His parents own several businesses, including a conservative radio station, along with a country club. He's not a poor guy. It's not like, oh, he got denied services, he couldn't get his surgery. No. No, no, no. Yeah, he may have been studying this guy. He may have crossed paths with this guy. You never know. He could have came to speak at his college, I mean, it could be anything. His father was a real estate developer. Um in Maryland. They have money, and I mean money, money. And they have a radio station. He's a person born into a family of means. And this is not anyone to feel sorry for him. He had a lawyer on the scene immediately. Okay. Um, well, Bill was a speaker because it was the annual investor conference and he was a speaker, but as far as he would have known if he's been studying, if it was a personal thing or a company thing, he knew that this was happening. And I don't know, maybe he just planned to come and have a New York experience along with going out guns blazing over there to somebody he can't stand. I don't know. His lawyer is not admitting to anything. Girl, extra AF, you took the words that tell me that he doesn't know the Mangiones. And I'm not saying that from any trying to be messy or anything. He's a real estate developer in Maryland. The property has a golf course. You don't think that I mean, come on. All right. I'm just saying. Okay. Family said he fell off the grid for some time. They haven't heard from him. So he took off, he was probably having a little identity crisis. Who knows? I mean, girl valedictorian. Okay, let's look at the press conference, guys. All right, let me. Yeah, I was watching it and I was like, oh my God, but you don't be fooled because this guy is. We'll watch the. We'll look at this. His lawyer, there's another one, but that one's like 17 minutes because I want to show you I have a little update about Fani and her case, and then there was something else too. So let's get to this one. Hold on a second. Okay, just a second. I mean, this is, of course, is not going to be the last we heard. Was he on CNN too? Let's look at this. This is what they caught him outside after the arraignment.
corrections department about something, and I didn't understand what you were asking. You were saying,
Not really. Oh, no, I think all I asked was the sheriffs to keep my client around for a little bit so I could talk.
And what did you discuss?
Well, I'm not going to tell you that. You're
Your
kidding,
client-
right? You've been on it.
Sir, your client said
Get into that.
there was a request that
Treated fairly in custody?
I never got into that, and I won't get into that.
there was a request that you made though about informing the corrections department about something, and I didn't understand what you were asking. You were saying,
Not really. Oh, no, I think all I asked was the sheriffs to keep my client around for a little bit so I could talk.
And what did you discuss?
Well, I'm not going to tell you that. You're
Your
kidding,
client-
right? You've been on it.
Sir, your client said something to reporters as he was walking in about this being an insult to the American people. Do you have any comment on that?
I have to take a look at that. No, I don't have any comment on that. I just know that, I haven't seen it. I can't comment on something I haven't seen or heard.
Any comment on the outpouring of support there's been for him online?
No, I mean, people are entitled to their opinion. And like I said, if you're an American, you believe in the American criminal justice system, you have to presume him to be innocent. And none of us would want anything other than that if that were us in those shoes. And so I'm glad he had some support.
I wonder if Notorious is going to try to write him a letter and be his friend and try to run up there to Altoona. Is Notorious going to run up to Altoona to be friends with Luigi or try to get Luigi's story
Just said a
boots on
moment
the
ago that
ground
that's
or
what
take
lawyers
pictures
do
with
when
the family?
telling their clients to be quiet. What did you mean by that?
Oh, no, I mean, because I'm going to do all the talking. You know, it's, you have the right to remain silent, and I believe in that right.
And you are Thomas THOMAS?
THOMAS, yes, middle initial MDICKUR.
What are your thoughts on the prosecution's case?
Yeah, a little bit. I'm sorry. You know what? I haven't received anything. I got paperwork, and I want to meet with the district attorney, and we'll have hearings. We'll be able to see all that, but I haven't seen anything.
Are you, as a human being, aware of what happened in New York over the last few
crimes.
days?
He has an arrest warrant in New York.
I mean, I don't have a
And
whole lot of
he's
time to follow the news.
gotten charged with
of
some
it,
crimes in
but,
Altoona, Pennsylvania.
I don't follow a lot of things sometimes in news because sometimes the press gets things wrong. Like I said, I was very irritated, getting some backlash already that some news agency had indicated we waived the arraignment. We waived the extradition, and that's what irritates lawyers like me. Is if you're going to print it, get it right.
Do you find it surreal that you're now representing the guy they've been looking for?
Yeah, I don't know. No.
Is this the biggest case you've ever been on?
Yeah, they're all big. All my clients, whether it's a speeding ticket or whether it's a death penalty case, which I am qualified to do death penalty cases in Pennsylvania, so they're all big. All my clients are equally important to me.
Can you just explain?
Okay, he said all his clients are equally important.
Yeah, like I said, probably something maybe in about the next month. You know, like I said, there's the judge set some motions, some deadlines, and they're going to have to come up with some things. We're going to have to come up with some things, and we're going to move forward with that. So, just kind of pay attention to that. And
Right. It seemed like on the bench you guys were sharing a little laugh. Like, have you formed a little friendship with him?
sharing on the bench. What do you mean on
Like
the
when
bench?
you were sitting up there at the table, you were kind of
Have
you formed a little friendship with him?
Yeah, I mean, he's my client, and I want him to have trust and faith in me, and I have trust and faith in him, and yeah, I mean, we're human beings, and we have a relationship.
Is he going to have trust in the system? Is he going to have a trust in the system?
Well, I'm trying to, that's why I talk about presumption of innocence, things like that. I'm hoping to instill that trust in the system with it. Again, I can't comment any further on that.
Do you have any concern about his health, mental health? You have to reach out to explore.
I won't comment on that. That doesn't mean I do or I don't, but I just.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. You're very welcome, Coach. Thank you. Nothing, just an attorney-client relationship. You know what I mean? And that's what we do. We try to form a bond.
Your name again, one more time, please.
Thomas, THOMAS, middle initial M as in Mark, Dickey, DICKEY.
Were you retained by
His name is Attorney Dickey.
I'm not court appointed. I was retained. That's all.
Are you local? Where are you coming from?
My main office is in Altoona.
And you have anything that you can share about your conversations with him or his state of mind or anything?
I was about to say, is that JLR Investigates? No, that's not him.
Pardon me? I didn't give
Are those his paralegals behind him or his daughters? These two girls with the perfectly coiffed hair. Okay.
Now you answer questions. I can't remember everyone.
Can you just, for those of us who couldn't go in there, sir, what happened today?
Well, what happened today is there was a extradition proceeding. We did not NOT. Add that on there.
If you are in Altoona and you are a blogger and you are not down to the courthouse, what are you doing? This is like the biggest story to hit Altoona as far as, I'm just going to go on a limb. I don't know that for sure, but it's the biggest one right now. If you are in Altoona, what are you doing?
Okay, because
If you're in Pennsylvania and you're in the Altoona area, what are you doing?
We're contesting extradition. We're going to fight this along the rules and with the constitutional protections that my client has, and that's what we're going to do.
How's his family why he doesn't want to
I'm not going to
Did he
comment.
say why he didn't want to waive extradition? Or
No, that's an attorney-client communication, and
Who retained you? Is it the family?
I'm not going to get into that.
how is he doing? Have you talked to him about his last one?
You guys? No, I haven't. I'm not. I'm here as a lawyer, and that's what I was.
And what's next?
The extradition proceeding. This process is going to move forward, and so I'm anxious to be looking at information.
Is there a new court date? Another court date?
Not yet. Yes, sir.
Who do you like in the Pens game tonight? That's a real question. Thank you.
Look at this guy in the back. You think that's his security? Look at the guy. He looks like what? Not Steven Seagal. What was that other guy? The French guy. Who remembers the action guy? The French guy, not Steven Seagal, but he was the short, he was the short dude. He would do the high kicks. Hey, babe. Who is that guy? You see the security guy back there? Remember the action guy? Oh, I can't think of his name. He was big around Steven's girl, Jean-Claude Van Damme. It's giving Jean-Claude Van Damme vibes. Okay, Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Favoritism. Let's see if the Pens can not blow.
Yes, look at that. Look, is that someone from security at United Healthcare? Remember in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, there was the weird guy who was always like in the bushes, and it turned out he was someone from the from Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory, like being nosy on everybody. It's giving, right? Y'all, is very much giving.
Oh,
what about Penn State?
We're Penn State fan. I hope they can do better than they did the other night.
Are you filing a habeas corpus petition?
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Sir, can you spell your name for us?
Yes. THOMAS, middle initial MDICKEY.
And you're the attorney for Luigi.
Yes, sir, I am. Okay. Thank you, folks. I appreciate you know a lot of questions. I appreciate the way you handled me.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
The process can take up to 45 days. Excuse me.
And you can always talk to Brittany.
Is it Brittany?
Brittany?
The thing about court proceedings is that
Okay, yeah, they do work for him. Those two ladies work for him. Match the fingerprints. Sources match the fingerprints. Okay, anyway, let me go to, hold on a second. Let me go to this. So if you watched the Big Jeff podcast the other day, they were talking about Fani Willis. I haven't done a whole lot of digging into this, but I will, because, it's important that we fact check certain things. Sonia has said this numerous times. They feel like Fani Willis, for whatever reason, is out here trying to break the law, whatever. Anyway, so she has not turned over some records that have been requested, and they feel that she is in violation of the Open Records Act. I don't know. Okay. I don't know, but we'll find out. We'll get to the bottom of this. I'm sure Fani is going to handle that business. But if you hadn't heard about this and you only heard about it through Sonia or Notorious, or on the Big Jeff podcast, let's try to make some clarity and get the facts, not the feelings.
District Attorney Fani Willis must turn over documents related to her election interference case. She was sued by a conservative nonprofit claiming Willis was ignoring their request, and the judge agreed. Atlanta News First political reporter Doug Reardon is live outside of the Fulton County Courthouse. And Doug, these documents are also linked to the January 6th investigation.
Presumably they are, and they were made.
Presumably they are.
Requests that we have here.
Oh my God, is he related to Chris?
We use it all the time as journalists. It lets you get your hands on public records. And tied to that law, there are some really specific timeframes in which officials have to respond and either grant or deny those. Country, anyone can use it. We use it all the time. And presumably they are, and they were made through the open records requests that we have here in Georgia and across the country. Anyone can use it. We use it all the time as journalists. It lets you get your hands on public records. And tied to that law, there are some really specific timeframes in which officials have to respond and either grant or deny those requests. The judge said yesterday that Willis just plain ignored those timeframes. Fulton County District Attorney Fonnie Willis must turn over documents
okay,
requested by
highlights.
conservative nonprofit Judicial Watch. The group wanted Willis's communications with the federal January 6th committee and Trump's D.C. prosecutor Jack Smith as she carried out her own case with Trump at the center.
It is clear that they did not want to comply or were unable or unwilling to comply, and complying with this law is mandatory.
Attorney Josh Schiffer says the Open Records Act is meant for transparency and sets strict standards for responses.
The argument from these conservative groups and other groups trying to get information is that Fonnie Willis can very easily collect this information, it's all digital, and send it over.
Judge Robert McBurney agreed, telling Willis she had 5 days to produce the documents, adding, quote, the court has in effect declared that she has violated the Open Records Act.
Some of those communications are absolutely of public interest. They're not protected by any privilege.
As for what's in the documents, that's relatively unknown. Cooperation between state and federal agencies.
Why was Fonnie looking like Tia Mowry with her hair pulled back?
Something Trump has been saying for years.
There have been suggestions by the former and now incoming president that there's been coordination with the Department of Justice.
She was looking like the Mowry sisters for a minute with her hair pulled back.
Fulton County. I think what would be interesting, if it's there, is some evidence of coordination.
And no comment from the DA's office. They may still appeal this decision. Speaking of Trump, his attorneys today here in Georgia filed a motion asking the judge to dismiss every single charge against him in this indictment. They said he is a sitting president. You can't prosecute sitting presidents. And so the case should be thrown out. Now, of course, Willis can wait the 4 years until Trump is out of office to resume that prosecution. From downtown Atlanta, Doug Reardon, Atlanta News First.
Okay, guys. Did I forget anything else? Hold on. Let me see. Let me just make sure. I feel like, did we cover everything? Fulton County. Huh. They said they did a document dump. Okay. We'll get back to that. Let me put this on my save list. We'll get into Fonnie and see what's going on over there. I didn't deep dive into it, so I'm not really sure. I don't have a lot to share on that. Just a second. The only other thing that did come up is that Donna Adelson did go to court, and they are looking at a June 5th or June timeframe, end of June timeframe for her trial coming up. So that seems interesting, but we can do Donna Adelson tomorrow. What else was there? Oh, this might be like, this was random. There was a lawmaker assaulted a congresswoman. This story just made me think of Sonia and Nesto, so forgive me. Let's just do this last one real quick and talk about it, because I hadn't heard about this, but I mean, that doesn't mean anything. But I heard about it the other day. This congresswoman was targeted because, and I think, look.
A developing story from Washington, allegations that a U.S. congresswoman has been assaulted on Capitol Hill. Let's get right to ABC's Nicole D'Antonio. Nicole, good morning.
Good morning to you. An arrest has been reported, and South Carolina Congresswoman Nancy Mace says she's okay, and she's also describing her alleged attacker.
Overnight, Capitol Police confirming an arrest after an alleged assault against Congresswoman Nancy Mace inside a congressional office building. Mace describing her assailant as, quote, a pro-trans man.
So if that being a feminist makes me an extremist, I'm totally here for it.
The Congresswoman faced protests
She
last
says
month
she's
after
totally
proposing
here
a bill
for it.
that would ban transgender people from using restrooms on Capitol Hill corresponding to their gender identity. Her proposal coming as Sarah McBride of Delaware prepares to take office as the first transgender person elected to Congress.
I want to make sure that no men are in women's private spaces, and it's not going to end here.
Police have released few details about the suspect, identified as a 33-year-old from Illinois, who now faces a charge of assaulting a government official. The Capitol was open for visitors at the time of the alleged attack. Mace says she has a brace on her wrist, but says she'll be just fine.
And House Speaker Mike Johnson has taken action to support Mace's bathroom bill. Rhiannon.
All right, Nicole, thank you for that.
Y'all, it's the bathroom bill, okay? Look, you guys chime in below. Tell me what your thoughts are on it. Me personally, I just feel like when I'm out in the world and I go to the family restrooms, which are the ones where they're private. I don't I don't like to typically go into any kind of public space because you don't really know what's going on in there. But I also grew up at a time when, like, in my teenage years, or really not so much teenager, but let's just say 18, 19, when I started going to nightclubs, and yes, 18, 19 nightclubs in New York, in early 20s, you could go into a restroom and there's men and women in there. So it wasn't anything for it to just be go to the bathroom and get out. Go with a friend, and your friend stands outside your stall, you use your stall, and then you finish, and then your friend goes, and then you guys wash hands and go together, right? So I don't know. It's a different time now. And I mean, obviously, that's a nightclub, not Walmart or Congressional Hall. But yeah, I guess they're working on a bathroom bill, which I'm sure is something that would spread. And, there's a bigger agenda out there, but I get it. I'm not against it. I just, sometimes there's just a lot going on out here. And, I mean, there's just a lot going on. I'm going to say this. I go for the unisex stalls. I go for the unisex bathrooms and the family bathrooms. So if it's a unisex where it's a private restroom, that's where I'm going. I'm not worried about other people being in the restroom. And that's what I tell Farrah too. If we're out in the public and they have one of those where it's private and you can lock your own door and you've got your sink and everything in there, that's the one that you go to. I don't worry about everybody else, in that type of situation, because you can't control it. His attorney looks Jewish, very smart. You're talking about Dickey. I don't know what he is. Thomas Dickey. It was just giving my cousin Vinny. Vinny was, if you saw my cousin Vinny outside of the Italian, I'm not saying that as much as I'm thinking unassuming, and very unassuming, but it seems he might be able to handle what he needs to handle. They're fighting extradition, and the extradition, from what I understand, could take up to 30 days. And that being said, the governor of New York said something today about issuing a governor's bond or a governor's warrant, something like that. And basically, they're going to pull his ass in one way or the other. They're not trying to wait 30 days to bring him to New York City. They are trying to get him there as soon as possible. And he's already been arraigned in Pennsylvania on his charges there. They're fighting extradition. And I think you guys heard this, but his attorney said, I haven't seen anything nor have been given anything to prove that he was the shooter. Now, based on the documents that we just read, the person identified at the hostel and that they're tying to the shooting was registered under a particular name at the hotel, at the youth hostel. And the same identification that was used at the hostel is the identification that they handed over to Altoona police. And on top of that, he was sitting there in fucking McDonald's acting weird. If he would have came in there and tried to blend in and wasn't sitting there with probably a beanie, a hoodie, a mask, looking weird, maybe he would still be on the run right now. But trying to look, you know what I mean? You're out when you're in a city that never sleeps, you're in a big city and people are wearing COVID masks, or just surgical masks, whatever, covering their face. It's different. When you are in a small town and everyone's looking at everybody and they said the strange man, like they were on high alert. Yes, those of us who've seen the movie My Cousin Vinny saw it about 20 times. Girl, that movie was so funny. Girl, he should have grabbed his Big Mac and left. That was, he probably was tired. I mean, at the end of the day, and then when they said, if you lie to us, you're going to have more charges. Sir, you got a whole murder charge. I wouldn't have worried about lying to no damn police. You know what I'm saying? You got a murder charge. Okay. but he lied, and then they asked him again, and then he told the truth. He was Luigi Mangione. Okay. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna let you guys go. When I come back, we'll do another video. As far as legal mail, what I got, I think I told you guys. So I did get the videos. I'm not really satisfied. The Hawaii 5-0, I got them. I'm not super satisfied. They are very much redacted. So, on body cam video, there's going to be those beeps. It's not as much video as I was told existed. And also the videos are redacted. I mean, they are filtered over, but you can hear the voices and you know who it is. Like it's no doubt who is in these videos. And I will show them. I didn't want to do it too much in segments, so I did write I did send a note to the PIO, the Public Information Officer for the Honolulu Police Department, to see if there was a mistake, because I did not get all of what was requested. I got a portion. So I would like to, I sent an inquiry last night, like WTF, on some WTF, very nicey, to my contact, because I thought I was going to get more, but it's okay. It's okay. I just thought it would be more, but we'll get into it in the next couple days over on Love Lies and Lace Fronts. If you're interested in the Hawaii 5-0 situation, there was a YouTuber who was involved in a situation, and your girl got the body cam video from Hawaii. It's yeah. So we'll talk about that soon. What else? I think that's it, guys. We'll be back. I'm gonna come back. Let me just get dressed, and I've been on here live all day. I need to handle that business, and then pick up my daughter, and also get into my head what I'm gonna make for dinner and stuff like that. So he should have been on the other side of the world, girl. Especially with the coins he has. Luigi's got coins. Do you guys want to watch the other let me see. Girl, the missing Wisconsin kayaker who faked death fled the country. Missing Wisconsin kayaker in custody. He's in custody. They went to Russia and got him. Where was he? Wasn't he in Ukraine or something? Y'all, we might have to get caught up on this one. Are y'all with me? Hold on a second. Did you guys hear about the guy who went missing? I guess they'll talk about it. He went missing. He called his wife, said he was on his way home, and he basically got in the wind and took off. Hold on a second. Let's see. Girl, you gotta be kidding. I didn't know they got him in custody. Hold on, let me get my setup. Let me get my setup right. Okay, let's see what's going on. He missed home. If I were his wife, it would be done. His bags would already be packed. We thought people are not, law enforcement is not playing anymore with people. Girl, he got 2 badges on his shirt. He got embroidered and girl,
Good morning,
everything.
We meet again. I'm just going to read you a release that we have. On August 12th, 2024, the story of the missing kayaker began with the suspected drowning death of Ryan Portworth. On October 7th, 2024, the search for Ryan ended, and the investigation efforts took a new direction. When we learned that Ryan had left the United States, and he most certainly was not in Green Lake. That was our biggest thing, that we knew he wasn't in our lake, thanks to many partners. On December 10th, Ryan arrived on U.S. soil. He was then booked into the correctional facility.
What do you think he's going to get,
and
like
is
10
awaiting
years?
His initial court appearance. And when my press conferences, I said, could be a really good Christmas. I want to say thanks again to Keith.
Is he about to cry?
Of Bruce's Legacy. Diver Charlie DeGroat. The Wisconsin DNR. MOCIC. Homeland Security. The FBI. Department of Justice. Division. Criminal Investigations. The Green Lake County and the Green Lake County community. The Watertown community. But most of all, the Green Lake County Sheriff's Office.
He's about to cry? Sir, what's wrong with you?
They're the ones that kept this going. I couldn't be more proud of them, of what they did for a family. We didn't give up. And we can stand here today feeling relieved.
Hey, Eve has
And
many
one of my
faces.
detectives here, Detective Jeremiah Hansen, who played a big key, and my chief deputy, Chief Matt Vanderkolk, that stuck with me. And we had a
Look,
great
can you tell us the story of what happened? Like the acceptance
there's one
speech?
more
Like,
thing
come
I
on
wanna say
now.
thank you to.
What happened?
and that is to you folks.
Okay.
But through this whole case, I appreciate that.
He got emotional. Can we get the facts, not the feelings, please? We want facts, not feelings.
At this time, we're still putting that together, so I can't release that.
Is Jim cooperating with you guys? Have you been able to speak with him in person?
He's cooperated with us. Came back to the United States.
Do you know if he's had any contact with his wife and kids since the last time we spoke here last month?
That I can't release.
Can you detail how he returned back to the United States? Can you detail the step-by-step process of how he got back here?
Got on an airplane and landed in the United States.
Were there any other agencies involved in that
No.
getting him here? What country was he in that he flew from?
I can't release that.
Did he come willingly, Sheriff?
Yeah.
Has he said what compelled him to come back to Wisconsin?
His family, I guess.
And did he come back on his own? Or?
Yes.
Was he
Yes, he is. No, he came back on his own.
So what charges could he be filed against him? He said he's awaiting his initial appearance.
Yep, he's waiting initial appearance. Everything was sent up to the DA's office, and they'll be the ones that will review it.
What were the charging recommendations that you referred to the district attorney's office?
There was a number of them. Obstructing.
Did he notify law enforcement in advance before he came home, or did you find out after he returned to U.S. soil?
He notified us. We were in contact with him.
What international airport did he fly into?
I'm not going to release that right now.
Was he taken into custody by law enforcement at that airport, or did he return to Green Lake and turn himself in?
He returned on his own.
When is his first?
You're asking good questions.
That I'm not sure. Could be today.
They're asking all the good questions, huh?
Have you spoken with his family since his return, and could you share any of maybe some of their feelings and what they may have had to say following the news?
We just briefly spoke to them, and I can only imagine how they feel.
Can you talk a little bit about some of the conversations that took place between your department and Ryan from the last press conference to today?
No,
No.
that we don't want to release.
Why are you here? Why are you having a press
How are you feeling,
conference?
and how's your department feeling now, knowing that he is back in Wisconsin?
I mean, the sheriff's coming up here to cry and not to drop the TT.
Relieved. I'm very proud.
That's what I'm saying, Bella. Why come on here and cry?
But, now when we walk out, we continue to do what we were doing all through this whole process. We never stopped. We're continuing to serve.
Girl,
our
Sheriff,
community,
cry.
And whatever call we had. And that's, the help of my department. And
So
my whole department.
he turned himself in here at the Green Lake Justice Center yesterday.
Yep.
Is he going to have to reimburse the county for the search effort?
That is part
That's
of the
what I heard.
recommendations,
Uzbekistan, something like that.
we present to the court.
What do you know about the woman he was involved with, and did she have a role at all in compelling him?
Was it a
I do
catfish?
not know that. So
Could anyone else be facing any charges for dating him or anything?
Could you?
Could anyone else be facing any charges for dating him or anything like that?
No.
Sheriff, last you spoke, you said that in communication with him, he wanted to make things right or figure out a way out of this. Has he given any indication on his mindset now that he's back?
I can't release that. That's all part of the
Can't release that. Okay, Sheriff Cry, we gonna let you go, sir. You did not understand the assignment. I mean, if you're gonna have a press conference, can you give up some information, please? My God, that was really like, okay. Anyway, guys, this was so much fun. I hope you feel like you got caught up on some hot topics. I will link, go to my community wall. Let's see. Go to my, y'all, just a second. Let me drop my, if you missed it, we talked about this last night. It was oh so awkward. Awkward dad, mom pretending everything's okay, and Grammy trying to pretend like she didn't just like a post and embarrassed everybody. Okay. And Blue Ivy at her premiere for her movie. I feel bad for Blue Ivy. Okay, guys, let me let y'all go. You guys have a wonderful day. And I'll see you guys a little bit later on. And we'll get caught up on some more stuff. Okay. I guess he found out the grass wasn't greener. I wonder, yeah, like what's the story? I guess we have his name. I wonder if he's gotten on social media. Maybe he felt, I don't know. I can't even explain. I can't even come up with like a scenario. Normally I'm really good at like, well, I wonder if this, that, and the third happened. I'm blank. I've drawn a blank. Leaving and running away from your real life, also kind of manipulating the situation. It's one thing to just disappear, but it was the planning of the disappearance and pretending to be gone. It's weird. It's open enrollment for healthcare. Prices have increased a whole lot. Okay. It would be hilarious if he was catfished. Girl, on that note. Okay, guys, I'm gonna let y'all go. Have a good afternoon. I'll see you guys a little bit later. Bye.